The early access for Greedfall 2 is supposed to start this summer, so it should arrive in a reasonable time frame. My goal with this video is to give a brief but concise summary of what we actually know about this game so far. The game may be titled Greedfall 2, but it does actually play 3 years before the events of the first game, which, in case you haven't played it, was a well-received RPG with solid character development and customization and a pretty unique setting, inspired by 17th century Baroque aesthetics. Still, it had a few underwhelming parts too, like limited enemy variety and AI and companion control issues. But back to Greedfall 2, it shouldn't be too much of a problem if you haven't played the first game. Greedfall 2 has a new story and new characters. Since it's the same universe, there will certainly be some familiar characters, but it's basically like a fresh adventure with some nods to the past. In terms of the story and setting, it pretty much flips the original game's premise. Instead of playing as a colonizer, you're playing as a native from the island being taken to this continent, a place with lots of war and a plague called Melikor. That was also a central element in Greedfall. The combat system has been changed, and not everyone is happy about the sudden shift from action gameplay to real time with pause. I think the fact that the animations do not feel all that meaty and impactful probably doesn't help to convince some players that are already skeptical of the real time with pause systems, but they are definitely aiming for a more tactical approach, managing a party of 4 instead of just your character and 2 followers. Your party will consist of the classic RPG roles like DPS, tank and support. In the original, your companions would often just rush into battle without much strategy, but in Greedfall 2 you can control pretty much every move. Thanks to this tactical pause system that should make things much less frustrating, but it is understandable that some players would have preferred the developers to double down on the previous system and just improve and enhance it. But what players will like is that the game emphasizes decision making in quests, and those decisions can greatly influence your playthrough. The game often lets us choose to approach things using stealth, combat or diplomacy. As an example, helping a merchant in a side quest might get us discounts or other benefits in the future. As far as I know, it's even possible to lose a companion, so there should be plenty of consequences to our decisions. Just like in the first game, you can build relationships with your companions. Overall, it certainly looks like your companions play a bigger role in this game, and they are more fleshed out. You can seek their advice and use their unique skills in dialogues. Also, this game is confirmed to have a very easy difficulty mode where you don't have to worry about winning a fight anymore and can just play for the story. That's probably not appealing to most players, but still worth mentioning. Since only around 30% of the game will be available in early access, there is a pretty long early access phase planned, with plenty of time to incorporate player feedback. However, I don't see them going back to the old combat style, as that would be very time consuming. But yes, I definitely do hope that there will be significant improvements to the animations and the feel of combat. A like is very much appreciated if this was helpful, and I'll see you next time.